But you haven't seen this kind of Larper. Do you see one of them in particular? Reoccurring, uploading every single day? Fascinating stuff. That's my real competitor, and guess what? Bro is also making intellectual content. Asking questions. It's match made in heaven. He asks and I know. I find this quite original. I'm looking around the YouTuber that's getting LARPed here. If I type in vampires... Nah, it seems original, right? That's something. These questions are relatively original. Free will. How about that one? I'm almost like surprised that this guy got an intellectual style creator, but this is a kid, technically, but I just don't quite see the exact match, you know? Alright, let's take the challenge and answer some of these questions that he has, as best as I can. Probably tackling the most, like, interesting and useful ones. We're also going to use a marker and mark off things that are technically completed. Let the battle begin. We have a lot of work to do here. Wait a second. Are we sure about this thing, though? Are we sure? It's definitely a fascinating way to hold on to your childhood, if anything. I'm just saying, it doesn't quite match the original creator. Just one snap away from the problem getting fixed. Intro time! Bro, did you see that lag? Is time real or just something our minds invented? Hello, Internet. This guy has questions, and I have to answer them as best as I can. This one's actually tough. We have to start with the easy ones, and also eliminate not questions. Why I hate public bathrooms? Why would you hate public bathrooms? Hair reveal. Nope. Make it bigger. Are we born with personalities or do we develop them? Both is the answer. This one I'm very sure about. People don't care to change their personalities. It seems to just lock into place. It seems to be the most predictable thing about human beings. But develop them? Absolutely as well. This is not or. Both have to be the case. You should be able to improve upon your personality. Most importantly, your self-improvement probably happens by adopting other people's personalities, you know, by being friends with them. Done. You have technically 2 traits, the other person has 2 traits. You can match that. You kind of want to match with other 3 friends, and maybe even other 7 friends, because there's 8 personalities, right? And you have 2 traits. You have a major trait and minor traits. That's what I have been observing. And the reason for it is because there's 4 personalities and you can be extrovert and introvert. That's all I can say for now. Ghosts are not real, but you can feel the presence of a lot of things. And you can definitely dream about certain people. I dreamt about Mr. Beast a lot of times. Technically every month. There can be things that haunt you, but relatively, ghosts are not real. The problem is we still have to have the culture of thinking about ghosts. We have attachments, we have dreams. I think do we have free will is pretty simple. The scary part about it is the better decisions you make, technically the less free will you have, but people don't want to make good decisions. That's even scarier. They want to be stupid. If you make the best decisions, you become the most powerful being on the planet. Why don't you want to do that? To prove them to themselves, to cope with free will, people literally choose a dumber choice. It's so weird to me. Has tipping got out of control? To me, tipping is like a ghost. People have to haunt you with it, bother you with it all the time, make drama out of fucking nothing, basically. Because this concept, like, you want to kill it because, like, it's my money. You don't get to take my money. You don't get to decide. But the concept of kindness should be somewhere in society. I say it's fair. It's survivable. Whatever that thing is. Like, if you can pay more, pay more. Simple as that. If you're a rich person, pay more. That should be common sense. Again, mid-section, I'm a shout out. This creator is legit Larper for the first time. I saw a counterpart. I saw myself in the mirror. All right? I saw something spectacular. So, on my behalf, subscribe to this guy. As of now, no one really deserves a subscription as much as this guy. Because this shows like a genuine struggle for knowledge, because knowledge helps. Absolutely. Are vampires real? There's a lot of disgusting things in the world when you dig deep. I talked about destroyers of reality in the Thanos video. Cripples. Cripples are vampires. Crippled people need attention. What else are they gonna do, right? How are they gonna socialize without arms and legs? Nowadays, we can, like, technically give them a second life with prosthetic legs and arms. Mr. Beast is so keen on doing that. Curing blindness, paying for those prosthetics. But cripples are generally vampires. They want to soak in on your energy despite, they're not going to give you anything in return. You know, I hate public in general. I never used a public bathroom for, like, long enough to where I can say never. Literally, last time I probably took public bathroom was when I took a picture of myself. So eventful. Why are there so many sharks? Okay, you can have that one. I don't. I have no idea about general facts. We can call these ones deep-seated facts. Deep-seated into reality. Alright, it's getting harder. That's just a very interesting fact, right? But there's age limits to this. And even I myself, well, I probably can't tell my own story by this point. There's age limits to where, like, you generate a story about yourself. To where you stand out in some kind of way. What if nothing around you is real? Is just a little bit too weird to think about? It is a direction you go to when you're seeking for meaning. Because meaning, or seeking for meaning, strips away all the meaningless things. So eventually, at split second, you strip away reality itself of, like, why would I care about reality then? It's a whole vortex of contemplating about a lot of things. Let's throw God in there too, right? Is money happiness? Money solves a lot of problems for dummies, A lot of dummies are chasing money because they need to solve problems right now. It's the most epic time to do so because you're also going to become attractive. You're going to stand out. People are going to treat you better. Money right now gives a lot of happiness. But that does not mean that without money, you can't achieve happiness. In fact, without money, you're likely to chase self-improvement. If you're born into poverty, you're not considering consumption as much as improving yourself, being a better person. Not which place to travel and what is the next meal and what is the next game to buy. None of those consumer nonsense things. No time wasted. If it's too hard for you to chase money, no time should be wasted. Are we in a simulation? Again, a very similar thing. There's not enough information to even figure out these things, right? The structure of reality, it's too complicated. Especially when no one is interacting with you. Like, when we talk about God, we would expect God to at least talk to us, right? The only thing we have is feelings. All of us have feelings. We can tap into our feelings. And that's about it. That's the ends of where the reality begins and ends, almost. Are aliens real? We're talking about vampires and aliens, alright? Or I can call them creepers, too. So, that's another type of destroyer that I could become if I don't receive enough love from reality. And there's a little bit of danger in that statement. How to be happy? Clean your life. People do that all the time. They wipe themselves clean of things that they don't like. You know, I've been blocked many times by many people. I've been shot. Usually it's very specific of what would make you slightly more happy. You just do one thing at a time. And try to, detach from the things that make you not happy, that make you depressed, because those are kind of leeches attached to you, constantly nagging you that you have to do this, you have to appeal to that person. Problem solving is happiness. Or rather, leads to happiness. And then the biggest one is just to relax and allow yourself to do nothing and still be happy. Right? To appreciate things, meditate on things you have. And what we have is 6 more questions. That's the kind of the ghost thing, right? If people think about you, do you happen to exist? This is another tough question where reality itself has to give enough clues, and I don't really have enough clues. So instead, I'll give you this to think about. Maybe you shouldn't be hiding yourself too much for too long. Maybe it's a good thing to be remembered. Maybe you will find within your feelings that that is exactly what you want to do. Be remembered. Maybe that way you don't have to die. You just transform. You transcend into a different state of being. Based on who cares to remember you. Possible, right? Because another big thing about life in general is life is relatively endless. Like, we're talking about time here too, right? Why would there be an end to life, right? There could just be a transformation to a different form of life. I think we have a bingo on our hands, guys. Bam. That's deep. Let's pick top 3, and I'll actually just watch his video. Out of sheer curiosity of how he would handle the question in the first place. I think I'm curious about these 2. I need to eliminate one of these. This is the stuff that I had to struggle, even on my YouTube channel. Do I care what children think about me? It's so annoying. It's almost impossible to care. We have we have a guy called Judge, right? It's just a guy who judges other people and their bad deeds. We definitely care what this guy has to say. Why? He's high level. The higher the level, the more likely that you're gonna care. Do you care what a policeman is gonna think about you? Maybe if you get confronted and if they seem competent, but usually no. Policemen are not very friendly people. from my experience. So it depends. Like, they have to match your level for you to even care. You should not care too much. You should look at the big picture. Of course, if people pointing a finger at you and laughing at you, I guess it's time to get embarrassed. Alright, whatever. But normally, you should be able to do you. Be yourself as much as possible. Should be your goal. If you get attacked, defend yourself. Just, you have to be living life every minute in a dynamic fashion, in a way that you're improvising your next move, and never give up. In the end of the day, strangers, that's the opposite direction. They're supposed to be friends. They're supposed to somehow be relative to you. You have to care about them first. If they haven't uploaded a YouTube video and they're criticizing your YouTube videos, that's a dumb stranger. Like, he's going way out of hand. But at the same time, he could speak sense, right? He could be sensible, he could be intellectual. There's so many variables in this one, it's quite overwhelming. How about we eliminate this one instead? The funny thing about LARPing community is we are now literally creating this comparison game. Is this creator matching the original creator? We compare each other basically based on certain rules, certain criteria. If that criteria exists, we start comparing ourselves. If number like subscription counts exist, we will compare each other. View count, you name it. Criteria is some kind of rule that someone is able to be better at than others, right? Including that he uploads daily. That's the cool thing. I love comparing. Some people do a better job than others. End of story, right? Let's dive into those 3 videos. Or should we do it next episode? You know what? I'll give this guy a chance to respond to me. It might change the vibe entirely. See you guys next time.